Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gaming with me, Tony Mo. We're back here with some more Titanfall. This will be the last beta footage video that I do before the release of Titanfall, because of course it is now Thursday, actually, and Titanfall is going to be launching this upcoming Tuesday, so it is not far away at all, in fact. And Monday at midnight, for those of us who are on the PC side of things, we will be playing the game at midnight, of course, with our wonderful digital download. So I'm very excited to finally get my hands on the full release build of Titanfall and see all the maps and all the weapons and all that stuff. But I wanted to talk about, you know, what I would like to see, and I think what we can expect from Titanfall at launch, and also moving into the future when we start talking about DLC, as well as maybe even possible sequels down the road. Recently we did have a season pass confirmed. Not something I'm really a huge fan of. I understand it's a money-making thing to get people to buy into a season pass early and pay all the money up front for the opportunity to save a little bit cash later on. I always just thought, why not just give people the map packs, let them buy them individually at that discounted price? Yeah, you know, I mean, whatever happened to customer service, but I guess AAA games industry, gotta make money, all that good stuff. Anyways, basically, the Season Pass is telling us right now, all we know about it is that we are going to see 3 map packs. That seems to be the norm. Call of Duty, when they do Season Passes now, Battlefield's the same way, actually. They do 3 map packs, content packs, whatever you want to call them. You know, recently, in Call of Duty, as well as in Battlefield, we haven't just seen maps, we've also seen weapons introduced, so that's nice. You know, I think it's strange how, on the PC side of things, for like years, we've been adding mass quantities of content to our games, sometimes for nothing, sometimes for cash, but they've never been limited to just these map packs. Where the console side of things, it's always been like this fear to add anything that isn't just a map to the game, like worried that they're gonna break it, or, oh, we can't do that, and hopefully that is something that I would like to see Respawn do with Titanfall moving in the future. You know, maybe more Titans. You know, they went out of their way to create these in-game companies, you know, Hammond Robotics. It would be cool to see maybe down the road another robotics company come to try and rival Hammond with 3 of their own Titans. You know, things of that nature, new weapons that come from Hammond, or again, possibly another manufacturer. I think there's a lot of room to expand within the Titanfall universe, and I think Respawn understands that. I mean, especially considering they built a multiplayer game and they're trying to tell a story inside of it. There's so many elements to it, just that I've been able to read in the art book that I picked up. You know, they have everything there to make a single-player campaign, but obviously it was about resources and time. They have a very small team of just, you know, I think a couple hundred developers, and they said, hey, what can we do? This is what we want to focus on. Plus, I've always wanted someone to do what Titanfall has done, what Respawn has done. I've always said to Call of Duty and Battlefield, you know, why waste your time? Why do you waste your time? You have 2-year development cycles, and you're worrying about this campaign that no one really cares about. I mean, the mass majority of people who play Call of Duty don't play it for the campaign. I honestly don't think it would hurt sales. I know there are people out there who don't play multiplayer who think about that, but really, they're in the minority. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but they are. I mean, the majority of people who purchase Call of Duty on a yearly basis, Battlefield on a yearly basis, are playing it for the multiplayer. Of course, on top of this, with Titanfall, I've talked about this in the past, Respawn has really done something special, and you know, Titanfall definitely appeals to a much wider audience, despite being a multiplayer-only game. And I think that's one of the really big things that I personally want to happen with Titanfall moving in the future, is more people to give it a chance. You know, more people who, for whatever reason, just have some sort of hatred toward it, usually unnecessary, you know, some biased hatred because they're a Call of Duty fan, or they've been tainted by FPS in the past, or whatever BS excuse to not give the game a chance, to give the game a chance. You know, I'd like to see more people give it a whirl. Hopefully when the sales drop, and I feel very confident this game is going to sell absolutely insanely well. The beta did, you know, exceptionally well. No one has had anything really bad to say about this game, and I'm really looking forward to doing my multiplayer review for Titanfall. So this is something I haven't had a chance to do in a while. Multiplayer reviews are something I've always wanted to make a core piece of my channel. I've done a couple of them, the Battlefield one, the Ghost one, I think I did Samurai Gun, and Titanfall is definitely one of those games that I want to review, which means I'm going to be spending an insane amount of time with it after launch, you know, getting all my information down, getting my thoughts down, and I'm hoping there's actually something bad I have to say about it, because right now in the beta, I couldn't think of any genuine complaints. You know, initially I was concerned about the AI, but then you realize if the AI was any more intelligent, how they would actually alter the gameplay in a negative manner, and there's a reason that, you know, that Respawn balanced them that way. So it's going to be difficult if I actually play the game and I really can't find anything, you know, negative to say about it, because that It's people have a hard time watching a review and when you say nothing but positive things, and when the only negative things you can say are like just pure opinion-based speculation, like, oh, I wish they would have done that, but it didn't really matter. It's very difficult for people to take your review seriously. It's pretty sad, right? When you do a review on something, and if you don't say at least like 50% negative things, 50% positive things, people get pissed off. But you guys know, I'm honest. I play games because I love them, and I'm definitely gonna give you my honest opinion. I'm not gonna BS you. You know, I've been giving you my honest opinion about the Titanfall beta the entire time I've been playing it, so you can expect the same thing with my full review for that. You can probably expect that exactly a week after Titanfall's launch. That should give me more than enough time to rack up at least like 100 hours in the game on PC and Xbox One, and I'll do a combined review with them, because so far, from what I've been able to see inside of the beta, they are identical. There's really no difference in the builds. Obviously, the way you play it is like the only actual difference. Performance-wise, they both run great. They both look great. Obviously, on the PC side, if you have really beefy, beefy rig, you can run everything on Ultra with Ultra textures and all that crazy stuff, and it's going to look a little bit better than it does on Xbox One, but for the most part, I thought they both ran silky smooth. They both looked gorgeous. Modified Source Engine for the win right there. So, map packs, DLC moving into the future. I want to see more cool stuff apart from maps from Respawn. As I said, I think that is an opportunity that they can take. They have people buying the Season Pass now. Give us something else. Don't just give us maps. Give us new weapons. Give us those new Titans. I want to see that. I really, really do. Now, in terms of... let's talk like Titanfall 2. A possible Titanfall sequel. This is obviously a very, very dangerous area, as of recently, especially in the games industry when you talk about sequels, and especially when everyone can just constantly compares Titanfall to Call of Duty. I mean, it's just, that comparison is never going to get worn away, the direct comparison, especially with people who haven't played the game, and they like to slap the whole Call of Duty with mechs things on it, even though they could not be any more wrong on that aspect. But, sequels are something that I personally have an issue with for the most part, because developers and publishers tend to get really afraid. I mean, you make a game, right? People play the hell out of it. Titanfall, the first Titanfall, everybody loves it. Then for the second game, you have that option, okay, we're gonna make a sequel to Titanfall. The issue is, if we start changing things and doing new or innovative things, are we gonna alienate the previous audience? And that is obviously a concern the publishers and developers always have. It's the same issue that Call of Duty's had for the last, 8 years now. They don't want to change Call of Duty because people like it the way it is, and if they did this drastic change, they're afraid they would alienate a group of people. But I don't think that's always the case, People don't know what they want, especially in the world of gaming. They think they do. Everyone thinks they want that direct sequel to Battlefield 2. We just want Battlefield 2. But you don't. You don't. You want something that is as good as that game used to be, but not in the exact same manner. You want something that's new, that's different, that is groundbreaking, that's innovative, and when you play it, is just as good as Battlefield 2 was when you played it. You don't want something that's the same. So here's to hoping that if Respawn does have the opportunity to do a sequel to Titanfall, if it's something they plan to take on, they remember things like that, and they don't just give us Titanfall 2, they take it in a new direction, they bring in new mechanics, they bring in more innovation, like they've done with the first Titanfall, and we don't just end up playing another sequel, I think it's possible to keep the same title of a game. I think it's possible to make a sequel while still greatly changing mechanics and implementing new ideas. I know this is an endless argument amongst gamers, amongst developers and publishers as well, I'm sure, and it's just no one takes the risk in the first place, so we have no real evidence to back it up. But I think if anything, Titanfall is a really good example of that already, actually. If you look at how many people love Call of Duty, would hate to see the Call of Duty formula changed, but how many of them are really excited for Titanfall? Probably quite a few people, actually. I mean, if you look at all the people who's Twitch streamers, YouTubers, these dudes who make a living playing nothing but Call of Duty, and they have been covering Titanfall on their channel for the past 3 months now. So I think that's a prime example of change and innovation. You do something good in general, people like it. It doesn't matter how much you change it. If you make a good game, people will play it. It's that simple. And Respawn obviously did the best thing they possibly could have done when they released the beta and they let us get our hands on it, when they let the press get out their hands on it. I've seen a few people say this in forums and things of that nature, and kudos to those people for taking that second to break the common sense and recognize, yes, that is one of the big things that Respawn has already done right. That's why the game has so much hype. It's not false hype. It's not just the people being paid to speak positively about Titanfall. people have played the game. And when people play things and they like it, they talk about it. They share it with people, just like I've been doing on my channel. So that's what I have to say about Titanfall. Pretty stoked, guys. March 11th is extremely close, and I'm really amped to get my hands on the full release of Titanfall and bring you guys a bunch of good content, and I have a ton of cool ideas planned for it, and as well as the multiplayer review. For those of you who have gotten a chance to play the beta, what I want to ask you guys actually was, what was your favorite beta map? Because I found it really hard to actually choose between Fracture and Angel City. So I'm curious to see what people, if anyone had a favorite, because I thought they were both just really well designed and extremely different, and I'm looking forward to them very much. Last, I wanted to mention, if you guys haven't checked out the Titanfall website, they've actually updated it, and they've listed a few of the weapons that were sort of leaked in the past. We actually have, you know, pictures and words on them and information on them if you want to go check it out at Titanfall.com. And of course, we're going to be seeing more maps and more weapons revealed when the full game launches on March 11th. That's going to do it for this one, guys. It's been Tony Mo, and I'll see you in the next one.